there, friends. I'm Miss Karen at Adams Memorial Library. Welcome to November's Bake-A-Tale. Well, since it's November, and November is a month for Thanksgiving, Bake-A-Tale this month is all about turkeys. So you could make a turkey card. You could make 2 different kinds of turkey corner bookmarks, and you can make turkey cookies. If you maybe don't feel like having pumpkin pie, or if you want an extra dessert for Thanksgiving or anytime in November, you can make your own peanut butter blossom turkeys. And the stories this week, or this month rather, also have to do with Thanksgiving, because that's how Bake-A-Tale works, right? We've got a recipe for something you can make at home. We've got some crafts that you can do, and we've got some stories that you can check out from the library, and you can read them while you're waiting for your treats to bake. And all of that, the information about the stories and the recipes and the craft materials will all be in the kit that you can come and pick up at the library. We'll have them down in the children's room. You can just come and pick them up. We'll have them as long as supplies last. If you're not able to come into the library, if you can't pick up a kit, you can always email us at kids@adamslib.org, and I'd be happy to send you, I could email you out the recipes and the craft directions. But the tales for this one. The books this month are Spring is for Strawberries by Catherine Pryor and Paulina Gortman, and Plant a Little Seed, which was written and illustrated by Bonnie Christensen, and The Perfect Thanksgiving by Eileen Spinelli, and the illustrations are by Joanne Adenolfi. And well, you'll see how they're about Thanksgiving, but this first one, and actually this one too, are all about when you're planting things, how the things that you plant earlier, like in here you have strawberries in spring. Well, all year round there's something to grow, and that's what will give you food for fall, when fall is for feasting, for feeding families full. And, maybe they'll even have a turkey for this feast, but lots of other things that came from the farm, like squash, cherries and pumpkin to make pies, potatoes, vegetables, all kinds of good stuff came from the garden and might be sold at a farmer's market. That's what this story is all about, month by month, how friends meet at the farmer's market. Now this one, Plant a Little Seed, they're growing things in a community garden. And again, they go all through the year, growing things until in maybe November, when they're cooking the corn and somebody might be trying to taste the pumpkin pie a little bit early. Then that's when families and friends can gather together. You see this little turkey decoration right there. Gather together and share the bounty of the harvest of all the things they've been working hard to grow all year. And this one, The Perfect Thanksgiving. Well, sometimes Thanksgiving can be a little bit imperfect. Sometimes things just don't work quite right. Some of your cookies might turn out really well. Some of your cookies might turn out, whoops. Sometimes the candy corn tails might fall off your cookies. Sometimes they might turn out a little wonky, but they'll still taste good. And your Thanksgiving will still be perfect, even if it seems like Abigail Archer's family is perfect in every way. And it's never more obvious than on Thanksgiving Day, because nothing goes wrong, it seems, for Abigail Archer's family. And sometimes in your family, maybe the candy corn's going to come off the cookies. It is okay. The most important thing is just being together and sharing a meal with love, even if your cookies get out a little wonky. So about these cookies. So if you've ever had peanut butter blossom cookies with Hershey Kiss on top, then that's how these cookies work too. You just have some chocolate, and then you could put an M&M, an orange M&M or an orange Reese's Pieces candy on for a beak, and candy corn on for the tail of your turkey. Now, actually, for this time, there are 2 recipes in here because I wanted to show you two different things. So I followed the recipe on these ones called turkey blossom cookies. So that's the recipe that I used. And again, it's more fun to bake with a friend. Adults are going to have to take the things in and out of the oven. And actually, you might need an adult to do some of the decorating too, because you have to do the decorating when the cookies are still warm from the oven. So this is the recipe that I used, but if you have another peanut butter blossom cookie recipe, you could use that one too. But on this one, it's a little bit hard to see on the picture, but the person who created this recipe made the tail out of little pretzel sticks dipped in chocolate and had orange sprinkles on them. This other one, I did not use this recipe to make the cookies. It just calls for refrigerated cookie dough, so you can do that too if you would like. But this is the one where it said you could put Hershey's Kiss, or this one they did a peanut butter cup, a little miniature Reese's cup. And this is the one, shows a picture of how it looks with the candy corn. On the back of this picture, the back of this recipe told you another way that worked better for me to decorate. So I did buy some little candy eyes, but if you don't have those, you could just use chocolate chips. You can use regular chocolate chips and miniature chocolate chips. You could put those in when the cookies come out of the oven and they're still warm. An adult can carefully poke, when the cookies are still on the cookie tray, carefully poke in those little chocolate chips if you'd like to use those, and the M&M if you'd like to use that. But that's how I started with this, where I just put the Hershey Kiss in, because it said in the other recipe where it had the pretzel sticks, you just put the Hershey Kiss in. As it starts to get a little melty, you can just put the M&M in it. You can put the eyes on it, and you can just put she had pretzel sticks, but you could put the candy corn in right like that. So I did do that one. And then sometimes, I tried putting the Hershey Kiss both ways. This was upside down. That did not work as well. I thought it would be a nice flat surface, but it didn't melt as much. And then when it did melt, it kind of overtook the eyes a little bit. It is okay. They'll still taste good. You'll still have a perfect Thanksgiving if you do it this way. But what I ended up doing that actually seemed, whoops, there goes another candy corn. The ones that seemed to work a little bit better, I took those Hershey's Kisses and just melted them in the microwave. So I put, a few in a microwave safe bowl, put a tiny little bit of water in so it would stir better. Put the chocolate in, for a minute, 30 seconds. I took it out and stirred it, and it was melting enough that if you just keep stirring it up, that might be all it takes. But you just heat them till the chocolate gets melted. And then I took the cookies and used a little bit of chocolate, put a little bit on with a spoon, sort of put it into a circle shape, put the eyes on, and put the M&M, stuck it in that way. And then for the candy corn, I stuck those on with more chocolate too. And this one, I'll just say the candy corn hasn't fallen off yet. So that worked better for me, to melt some chocolate, stick the things into the melted chocolate, and stick the candy corn on with the melted chocolate. But like I said, even if the eyes are looking a little funny, even if the candy corn's falling out, they'll still taste good. They're kind of fun too. So those are the cookies for the crafts. Now, two of these are the kind of bookmarks that go on a corner of a book. This one goes this way, and this one, the turkey upside down going that way. But those will both work from the same, even though they look different, they start in the same place. And the card, it can be a card, or you could open it up, write somebody Happy Thanksgiving inside, give it to somebody. You might not be able to mail it. You'd have to put it in a big mailer if you wanted to do that, but you could always give it to somebody, or you could just mark somebody's place at the table with it, like this. Now, to make these ones, you might want to start with this one first. there'll be a big piece of brown construction paper, a full-size sheet of brown construction paper. To make this one, you'll need a square that's either, you'll have to measure it if you have a ruler at home. You can measure it so it's either 5.5 inches this way and this way, or 6 inches going both ways, because you're going to do origami with it. And then you're going to use the rest of the paper to make the shapes for the other ones. But you do want to have enough brown paper to have a square. So you might want to cut that one out first. So after you've cut out your square, 6-inch square, you're going to make the bookmark base. So you put the paper down so it looks like a triangle and fold the bottom point up to the top point, like that. And then when you have, if you're doing it flat, the long side is going to be facing you. And the point will be facing away from you, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like when I'm holding it up. The next thing to do is bring this left point up to the top and then the right point up to the top. So the paper will fold like this and like that, and they'll meet in the middle. And now it looks like a little kite. After that, you'll make nice creases with this, and then you'll open it up again. And you've got the two parts of the paper open at the top. You're going to fold the first part, just the part that's closer to you, down like this. So you have one triangle going up and one triangle going down. And then you're going to take these back, but instead of going up to the top with it, you're going to put it up and into this little pouch here. So you take one side up and then fold it down. You take the other side up and fold it down. Goes up to the top and then folds inside. Like that. And that's how you'll have the base that goes onto your book. Now, when you're doing this with the brown paper for this turkey, that's it. That's your turkey's body then. There'll be a couple of sets of eyes, wiggle eyes if you want to use those, or you can just draw eyes on. There will be some orange and red pieces that are a little bit bigger and a yellow piece, and you can make feathers with those. But one more thing, before you cut this all up, you will need probably either the red or the orange piece to make the base for this turkey bookmark. You can use the yellow, but this is cardstock instead of construction paper, so it will be a little bit harder to fold, but you can do it. Which piece of paper, what color you use, depends on what you want the bottom tail feather to be. You see on the back, it's red here, and then these are the bottom feathers. And this is the part that holds on to the book. So I made mine red. If you're going to do red, you will just need to measure how long your red piece of paper is this way, and then cut it across the same way because you need to make a square out of this. So if it's 5.5 inches this way, you'll need to cut 5.5 inches this way, cut out the square, and then fold it like this again. So you're going to have two things folded, and one's going to be out of the brown construction paper, and one will be out of the red or orange construction paper. For the brown one, as I was saying, you will just, that's the whole body. You're done after that. You can take the rest of the red and orange and yellow, and there'll even be a little piece of blue and purple construction paper if you feel like making a couple of blue and purple ones. It's probably not big enough to make the body of the turkey. So if you want to make a blue turkey, you might need to find a bigger piece of blue paper for that. But it'll be enough that you can make a couple of feathers if you'd like. So for this, you'll just cut a little wattle from the red, cut a little beak from the yellow, cut some yellow, red, orange, whatever color feathers you want, and then you can decorate them too. And then this one is ready to give to somebody for a Thanksgiving gift if you'd like, or use yourself for your bookmark. Now for this one, Once you've folded it rather, you're going to take this top point and fold it inside too. So you'll have this little cup in the middle of your triangle. And that's what this part is. And then you will take the leftover brown paper and you'll cut 2 circles, ovals, that's going to be your turkey's head and body. And you'll glue those on to this part, this flat part. And then they will be in front of your bookmark here and here. And then they're going to be the bottom feathers. So you'll cut the bottom, so that's curved, and then cut the sides a little bit, trim them a little bit so they're curved also. You can draw a face on, you can just color a face, or you can again cut red wattle, cut the yellow beak, and then cut some other feathers from the other construction papers, and then glue them onto the back of the turkey's head that's sticking out. That'll make it a little bit sturdier. And this is where the part that goes onto the book is here. So here's where the pouch is here. But that's what you'll do for this. So you're going to have a one-of-a-kind turkey here. You can decorate it however you'd like. To make this card, there will be a piece of this light green cardstock in your kit. And then you can take whatever kind of paper you have left, maybe whichever one you didn't use to make the base of this bookmark. You can glue that on and you can use that for the background for your turkey. The first thing you will need to do with this is make the turkey's tail. And this is going to be a one-of-a-kind turkey too, because the feathers here in the tail are made from coffee filter. So the first thing you will do, and you're going to need to let this dry, so you might have to do this the day before or a couple hours before you do the rest of this card. Color on it with a marker. If you don't have a marker, you could color it with crayon, colored pencils, whatever you have. It might not blend quite as much. It might not be quite as blurry and tie-dye like this, but it'll still work. Color it with different colored markers. And then you'll need a glass that you'll fill with water. Once your coffee filter rather is all colored on, you will fold it in half and then fold it in half again. So it's going to go from a semicircle to this kind of fan shape, and then fold it in half again. And the part where the point is, you're going to hold on to the top and you're going to stick it in the water here and then just wait. As the coffee filter starts to absorb the water, it's going to be going up and up and up, and it's kind of cool to watch. There's no water in this, and I don't have this colored yet. So you'll need to put the water so it's high enough to dip for it to go all the way up. And so you can hold it if you need to drop it in for a second, that's okay. But if you put it too far in the water, then the color will come out instead. So it's best to just have the tip in the water and just be patient until the water goes up to the top. And then you will absolutely positively have to cover your surface. Don't put it directly on your table. Don't put it directly on your plate. Put some plastic down, put paper towels down, because when you unfold it to let it dry, it'll do this. The color will come straight through. So make sure you have your table, your work surface all covered. But then after it's done, after it's dry, you can take it up again. And you want the tail to kind of fit within the frame of this card. So you can fold it. You can try folding it again in half. If that looks like it's not quite big enough, you can do what I did, and I folded it so I didn't quite fold it in half. I just folded it a little bit so it was folded not quite in half. There's, if I was folding it in half, this part would come all the way over here. Just do whatever it's going to be to fit behind, to fit on the card. So you can do that however you would like. Then you can glue it onto the card. Take that brown paper, again, your trusty brown paper, and cut out. You could either do 2 circles like you did here, or you could just cut out a body. And again, you'll need to just make sure it's going to fit on this part here. You'll glue the brown turkey on top of the folded up coffee filter tail feathers. And then if you want to put the eyes on this, you can. If you wanted to put, I think there'll be 4 eyes in your kit, so you can decide what you want to put those on. This one, I didn't put it on because this one's going to be actually kind of inside the book, so I didn't want it to have the eyes. I wanted to lay flat, so that's why I colored on this one. But you can decide you want to put your wiggle eyes on some other craft project. You can do that too. They're yours. Then again, you can cut out a beak, cut out a wattle, decorate the feathers a little bit more, put some feet on if you'd like, and you can write Happy Thanksgiving here. You could write somebody's name for the table, write Happy Thanksgiving here. It is your craft project. You can do whatever you would like. As I said, come on down to the children's room and pick these up. We'll have them as long as supplies last. So I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, friends. Thank you for watching. Happy baking, happy crafting, happy reading, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Thank you.